As a kid, do you remember being scared? Maybe it was of being alone. Maybe you were afraid of the dark, or maybe it was a certain TV show or movie that every time it came on, you were scared. But I'll bet that every time there was one thing that could comfort you. And so I want to turn to the book of Psalms, and we're going to continue to look at the topic of anxiety. So Psalm 38, verses 19 through 22, and here's how they read. Many are those who are my vigorous enemies. Those who hate me without reason are numerous. Those who repay me my good with evil slander me when I pursue what is good. O Lord, do not forsake me. Be not far from me, O my God. Come quickly to help me, O Lord, my Savior. David in this psalm had every reason to despair and to be anxious. He was being persecuted by his enemies, so his physical life was threatened. He probably felt completely alone, completely abandoned. And to top it off, he was fighting off different physical attacks on his body where he was ill. And yet, in verse 21, he has a very telling cry. And he says to God, God, I pray that you would not forsake me. I pray that you would not be far from me. Intellectually, many of us probably know that we're not actually alone out of God's presence. But practically, when we're going through the anxieties and when we are in the midst of despair, I'm not sure how real His presence is to us. And thinking back to when we were kids, just think no matter how scared you were, that when your parents showed up or someone you really trusted, the circumstance didn't change, but it just simply made everything better because they were there. Well, it's no different today. We have a very loving Father whose presence we are never apart from, and no matter the darkness of the hour, longs to comfort us and to remind us that we are never alone, even in the midst of our anxieties.